We need a quarterback that can develop behind Goff that has similar playing traits. It further solidifies the system of Goff if Goff gets hurt. This one's ridiculous. Wait one more year for JJ. Better than all these guys. Has that dog. Now, people watching on Twitch, which, by the way, we are on Twitch, could see John's expression at that. Your facial expression. It's way too early to talk J.J. McCarthy in the NFL in the same sentence.
Yes. I mean...
Can he at least win the Heisman first?
Can he at least win a playoff? No. Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of work that needs to be done before he even considers coming out in next year's draft.
Right. This is so frustrating. Lions must draft a quarterback early in a draft. Lions will not be close enough to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. Need to have a young quarterback ready to go because we can't afford to pay Goff $45 million after his contract is done. Well, if Goff is really, really good, you'll pay him whatever. Okay? But I don't know
if he shows that he deserves it over the next year to 2 years.
I'm not worried about the money. If he's if he has 2 great years, then fine.
Then you're going to get what you pay for.
And you're going to get a chance to go to the Super Bowl with a great quarterback. I just don't think that's going to happen.
You have him under control through 2024.
Right.
If it gets to that point, you can franchise him, and then you can still reconsider everything.
Exactly. I like the idea of a high pick at quarterback because it gives Goff a chance to not only finish what he started, but also help him reestablish his market so he can get a great next contract in the next town, and we can transition smoothly without the high salary to keep him. You take the quarterback at 6 if he's there. Haven't we learned from the Okuda pick that you take the quarterback when you have a chance? Also, cornerbacks generally don't contribute greatly in their first few years. If you want immediate help at cornerback, you're better off addressing it in free agency. Now, there are exceptions. Sauce. Watch the Lions for decades. Agree we need a quarterback. However, I also know Goff has a bad quarter. The fans start chanting for the backup. Detroit fans cannot let rookie quarterbacks develop.
Well, I mean, whether the conversation around the rookie quarterback amongst the fans, it can be one thing. Mm-hmm. The conversation inside Allen Park.
Dan Campbell is not going to let the fans influence him.
No.
Can I ask you guys a super hypothetical, but it kind of answers what you asked originally is thinking QB at 6. Let's say, Baker Mayfield doesn't do what he did, and the Rams hypothetically ended up with the first pick, so the Lions had the first pick. Would you go QB?
I would probably try to trade down a little bit and see what I could get, but if I had to keep the pick...
Doesn't that kind of... See what I'm saying?
Well,
you're getting an opportunity to get probably Bryce Young.
But I don't want Bryce Young.
So you still wouldn't draft a QB. You would do what Stoney said.
I would look to draft, or I would look to trade down to 3 or 4, possibly pick up another first. And at that point, I could take, whether it's Stroud or Levis, they're going to be there. Or I can, if somebody's trading up to 1 and they want and that they want a quarterback, you could probably still get Will Anderson at 3 and get more picks.
Yes.
So I'd rather do that.
I saw a website that said that the Bears right now the odds are that they trade the pick.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean
they should.
They have so much value in that pick because Houston clearly is going to take a quarterback. So if you want, pick of your quarterback, you're going to have to trade up to number 1, and you're going to be willing to give up a lot to do it.
No way I'm trading a quarterback before the 5th round for a developmental guy. This team needs to use rounds 1 through 3 for starters on both sides of the ball. I understand that logic completely.
Yeah.
There's no way I give up 2 first-round picks for Will Anderson, especially since you can get 2 starters in the first 2 rounds. Well, you're really only giving up 1 because you're just swapping, the other one. You're giving up 6 for 3. So you're giving up 18. Fellas, why aren't the Bears projected to take the best offensive lineman to protect the quarterback? Didn't you see how frustrated Fields looked at the end of the year? That's why I said there's people that believe that either they take him or they trade down a little bit and take Paris Johnson from Ohio State, who right now is considered
the top offensive tackle in the draft.
And the kid from Northwestern, too, Skronsky, right? Fellas, he said that one. Jansen, about the biggest homer, Matt White, no. Flacco, no. Chad Henne, well, yeah. As if he isn't 40 and a product of the KC system. Wow. Greg and Hal.
Okay. 2 years ago, he went in there and won a playoff game for you. This year, he came in and started on the 2-yard line, went on a 98-yard drive in the playoffs. Yeah, I'll take him as a backup. I'd rather have him over Nate Sudfeld.
Right. No, he's saying you said no to Matt White. No, I don't think you did say no to Matt White.
No, I did say no to Matt White.
Did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Mike
no,
White.
Mike White. Yeah.
He said Matt White here. I honestly think that there's a legit path that Carter and or Anderson fall to 6.
You could, you could make that argument if the Bears do trade out and they go offensive linemen, then yeah, I think there's a path for one of them to be there at 6.
Don't forget you got your current quarterback out of that Stafford trade as well. That's from Mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are a legitimate threat to go to 1. That's a team that they're moving on from Carr. They need their franchise quarterback. And I also think the Cardinals are sitting in a catbird seat potentially to let a team come up and get a QB. I mean, there's so much movement that could happen here. The problem is there's so many teams ahead of the Lions that are QB needy that just devalues their options potentially.
Right, you've got Houston, Indy, and Seattle.
Would the Raiders, hypothetically, if they sign Tom Brady, still draft a quarterback of the future that high when they probably need something else to make Tom Brady happier?
See, I think if the Raiders sign Brady, that they're going to – if they stayed at 7, they might consider Jordan Addison because they're all in to go – they would have Addison, Adams, and Darren Waller. They could franchise Jacobs, and all of a sudden that's pretty sick.
Pretty good offense.
And they're going to have to spend some money on their offensive line.
Yes.
That's the one area that they will need to greatly improve.